Our friends appear like the dawn, a flock of sheep and a flock of boys. And though I slept, my heart lay awake and cried out, "Oh Lord, don't delay." Then he spoke and the locust came. Water gushed out from the rock. He breathed and the face of the earth was renewed. The depths of the ocean composed. You do not need to hold guitars. You do not need a set of drums. All you need is your throat and mind to lift noise unto God.
Throat and might. That's all I need to lift voice up to God. Bodies of water. Why are you so right? Bodies of water, by the way, our friends appear like the dawn. In case you like that, go buy their records. I'm sure they could use it. They're here. They're from LA. They play here all the time. Go see a show. Good morning, Lord. Good morning, everybody. I'm sleepy. I did not wake up at my intended time. Totally punked out. But still, it's still pretty early. Woke up at 8. Meh. But I have a lot of stuff to do today, so I had to do it. The first thing first, I had to come talk to God. And it's fun. A great, very appropriate little thing came about today where it was kind of all about wrestling before God in my devotion. Now, at least the way biblically we're led to understand God's nature is, in one way, He is a providential weaver of our lives, and in that way, we're called to not resist. But then, sort of, there are descriptions of and explanations of that. Yep, that lead one to understand that God also displays a, as they were talking about in my devotion today, a permissive will. And there are times, and there are moments, and there are things in our lives that God allows us to do. This is where this whole concept of free will, I think, comes from. That God enables us in our struggles. That we're asked to cry out to Him. But He lets us do our own thing in many ways. Now, we do our own thing often, not at His behest, but really quite the opposite. We do our own thing to His sorrow, and often to our own sorrow, but such is us. But yeah, but those, today it was calling me to observe those times when I am operating somewhere in His permissive will, and I'm like, wait, you're not telling me exactly what to do, Lord. Now what do I do? But to then, in those moments, for not to just slump around and find whatever's easiest, but pray and wrestle and sometimes groan in my spirit until I've found that which pleases Him. And it's not always easy, you know? And there's some people who don't even try, I suppose. But I'm trying. I'm trying, Lord. And in that, he pointed out this verse that calls what you're able to walk in. Thanks to God. And he describes what he calls the armor of God, which is kind of a spiritual comparison to what the Romans used to wear into battle. And it's kind of cool. I always liked it, especially as a kid. I used to, when we would go hiking, me and my mom and Scott C. Smith, my stepdad, and find birch trees, and they'd be like shedding sometimes, the birch trees. So you could pull off the bark and put it on. You could put it on like armor. You could find a nice big one, put it on like a breastplate, put them on your forearms and your thighs, and my mom would always like help me gird myself. So sweet, come on, it's so cute. And it would be like, and here's your breastplate of righteousness. And anyway, it came from this. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand, therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, which with you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one. Woo! And take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to this end. So, those are some simple things, actually, that I can just stick on myself, and I'm called to constantly just turn to Him. I almost think of it in a courtly way, like literally wrestling on the floor in front of the king, and then every once in a while looking up and be like, "Am I doing good, Dad?" It's like a jiu-jitsu class or something, as I grapple with what I am to do and who I am to be in these moments where I'm not specifically told what to do, but just asked to live. Okay, go. Sometimes God's like, all right, now go and live in my name. And man, we do some treacherous and terrible things on this earth. And He lets us do it. And we harm others and harm ourselves and shame His name. But in these moments it's a joyful battle. This is ultimately the proving ground, In a way, it's when God's telling you what to do all the time, it's kind of easy. And it's a joyful ease, and it still can be a struggle where your will is like, no, I want to be in charge here. But I definitely felt like I've been in that sort of moment. So it's a joyful reminder to know that I still have tools in my hand, that God didn't leave me bereft. What are the tools you head into in any conflict? What's your armor? Tell me about your armor. Is there some saying you got from your mom or dad or a crazy uncle? Is there just a general breathe edict? What do you do when you head into times of trial and conflict? Tell me about your armor. Describe your armor to me. You can get all poetic with it if you want, or just be simple. Let me know. Good morning. Good morning, son. Take it easy, all right? Easy.